Ukraine to the point that even Brandon got frustrated, is hammering Russia with our ferocious, effective, dark Brandon sanctions on everything from Russian industry to Russian gold sales to Russian energy. And Dark Brandon's eye lasers are extra mega pew-pewing the energy sector. A lot of Russia's whole economic deal is the exporting of oil and gas. Oil and gas are the Earth's favorite drugs. And Russia, they're mostly pushers. So in theory, if the world sticks together and messes up Putin's oil pump, that messes up his money pump, and his country can't afford to keep pumping their war pump. That's the idea, the phallic idea. Except not everyone is on board, in particular China, which is buying more Russian energy than ever. But at least in global freedom land, in the Dark Brandon-verse, we're ready to do whatever it takes to help Ukraine. The US is on board. Canada and Japan are on board. And our pals in the European Union are partially on board. Hang on! It appears I said one additional word that time. What was that word? Partially. As in, the European Union, the place that's basically next door to the Russian army now, is only partially helping out. Why is that?
At the time of recording this interview, the European Commission still trying to get all 27 EU states on board with an oil embargo. We're led to believe that Hungary is the one country that's holding out on this.
Hey, it's that country we're going to talk about. That was back in May, the result being that the EU eventually issued an oil embargo with the exception of Hungary. You see, this past April, Hungary had an election, kind of this hand motion right now and for that entire sentence. We'll cover why it's not an election later. That's enough now, hand! I'll see you after the show. Anyway, the pretend election was yet another victory for Hungarian leader Viktor Orban, whose name I'm going to say 100 billion times before this showdy is over. Here's what he looks like, if you're curious about that sort of thing.
A fourth term for Viktor Orban, who likes to think of himself as the strong man of Europe. His supporters are elated.
Strong man, you say? Nothing ominous about that. Immediately after winning, Orban bought a niet load of Russian gas, and he made a point of buying it in rubles, which are Russia's preferred currency, i.e. their currency. Hungary did this even though Russia invaded a country that Hungary borders, and even though Hungary is in the European Union, and even though that purchase is basically a Russian military victory. This led the European Union to wonder what to do about Hungary and Orban. Their first and most obvious idea was to boot Hungary out of the EU. Except they can't actually kick anybody out once they're in. But most of the EU members tried to use a rule called Article 7 to suspend Hungary's membership rights, which would require every other EU country to agree. Except for several years now, Hungary has loudly protected Poland from a similar punishment. So naturally, Poland has their back. And now, even though Poland does not like the whole Russian tanks moving west kind of thing, Poland is protecting Hungary's right-wing pro-Russian government. Because that's what tag team partners do, no matter their differences, just like the rock and sock connection. Those two countries, specifically Hungary, single-handedly punched holes in all of the EU's Russia sanctions. If your Twitter avatar has turned blue and yellow at any point recently, that could matter to you. That's stuff you want to know. Also stuff you want to know is that Hungary is a unique flaw in the overall unity and effectiveness of the European Union and the NATO alliance. For example, they're the one member of the NATO alliance that is vetoing a program to promote democracy. It's gotten so bad that recently the entire rest of the EU voted to censure Hungary and declare Hungary a, quote, systemic threat to the rule of law. That's huge news. I also lied when I said it's recent news. It happened way back in 2018. And you likely didn't know that because the United States media didn't really bother covering it. The point here is that Hungary and Europe are basically one of those married couples that's not legally divorced or separated in a way that frustrates them both. Also, one half of the couple is openly banging other guys, such as Russia. I would compare this relationship to the events of the recent erotic thriller Deep Water, a film I already brought up last week and will bring up anytime I want. And trust me when I say that Hungary and the EU are exactly like this sexy film. At least in that no one is paying attention to either things. Not to neg you, my super attractive viewer, but I'm guessing Hungary isn't exactly a country you think about. And by you, I mean also me. But as I alluded to, there sure seems to be something fishy going on with their elections. and they super don't seem on board with the whole democracy thing. So for that reason, we should probably actually explain what's going on over there and why it matters. I mean, it extremely matters if you're in Europe, but you Yanks might not feel particularly affected by the goings-on of a country all the way in it's somewhere in there, right? Hey, fun fact, whenever an American acts like they can't be bothered to know about Europe, it's actually just because our education system is bad and no one taught us where anything is. Not me, though. I'm super smart and totally not reading off a teleprompter. And using my brain, and brain alone, I will now explain the history of Hungary from memory, from all those things I know. Let's do a graphic. Oh boy, here we go! Get your history grease out because this is gonna be a doozy. So, beginning with the Magyar people in the early BC times.
Nope! Cutting this off. It's boring and it's not the point.
But they got their history grease out.
Listen, all we need to know is that Hungary is a democracy. Probably. Okay? Because a place is democracy if it is a nice place to be in. And Budapest is the greatest city I have ever visited and analyzed and purchased a 2-bedroom in. Even your precious journalism likes Hungary, Cody. Look, here's a journalism describing Budapest. Quote, "The capital on the Danube does not feel autocratic. The atmosphere is relaxed, not repressive. No paramilitaries are marching. If anything, one might come across a small demonstration against the government, politely escorted by police. The ruling ism would appear to be not authoritarianism, but hedonism, from the beautifully restored thermal baths to the beer gardens in the old Jewish quarter. Affluent natives and an ever-growing number of tourists just seem to be enjoying themselves." Yeah, and that's from the New York Review of Books, the 4 most liberal words ever combined.
Wow, you really want to offload that apartment, don't you?
Why? Do you know anyone?
I feel weird saying this, but we should probably do ads.
Ooh, yes. Okay, begin ad. Hi there! Are you looking to get away from it all? Perhaps the country you live in no longer wants you there because of a crime you did. Well, I'm here to tell you about Katie Getaway Rentals, the only rental company that takes cash and won't do a background check. Cody, do you think it's okay to mention murder specifically? Okay, wait, let's start again, but with more murder talk.
I meant actual ads. I'm cutting to the actual ads. Right now. Hello, business person. I'm Cody, also a business person. My business? For $20 a month, I will write you a little note predicting how you're going to die. You only get 1 word a month, so you have to keep spending. What's my secret? I just make up the predictions. It's a lie. Also, I use Stamps.com. They give you access to the USPS and UPS services you need to run your business right from your computer. No holiday hassle, no Better Business Bureau or FBI stopping you on the street. All you need is that computer and a printer, and you can print postage whenever to go wherever you want. Legally speaking, I am a psychic. I realize now that I shouldn't have said I lie in my predictions. Anyway, Stamps.com isn't just easy and convenient to use, but can give you major discounts on USPS and UPS shipping rates. We all love the post office. We root for the post office. But if you're running a small business with a lot of mail, then Stamps.com is designed for you. I predict that you'll love it. I'm really a psychic. Like, legally, I'm a psychic, okay? Just, that's what the law says about me and my psychic powers. You're thinking, I agree, I believe you. Sign up with promo code MORENEWS for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code MORENEWS. Wow! products and services. We love those. Anywho, it looks like Katie is gone for the moment, and we should probably take advantage of that fact and keep talking about Hungary, which, going back to that New York Review article, seems to heavily present as just another fun European destination. I mean, would some kind of anti-democracy have Will Smith dancing on it?
Will Smith takes a viral dance.